Amazon Studios was at CinemaCon this week, and they revealed some behind-the-scenes footage of the new Masters of the Universe film, and it's getting rave reviews. By the power of Grayskull, we finally have some news to report regarding the new Masters of the Universe film. We had some footage that was shown over at CinemaCon this week, and we're going to go over it here today. But before we get started in the video, like always, I remind you guys, if you're not a current sub of the channel, hit that sub button, smash the like button, and get this video out there to everyone out there who loves Masters of the Universe. Now, with that said, I want to read you this article from IGN, who was at CinemaCon, saw the footage, reported on such, and here's what people have to say. So the headline reads this: Masters of the Universe, first footage from Amazon MGM movie revealed incredibly toy-accurate designs. That sounds incredibly positive right now, so it's getting me hyped. At CinemaCon in Las Vegas, Amazon MGM gave attendees a first look at what to expect from the next year's new Masters of the Universe film, and what they showed was very promising. With the film only recently beginning production, no actual completed footage was shown, but rather a message from set from director Travis Knight, and stars Nicholas Galitzine and Camila Mendes, who is portraying He-Man, Prince Adam, of course, and Teela, followed by a montage of behind-the-scenes on-set footage mixed with production artwork. Knight, the director, noted he did grow up a huge Masters of the Universe fan, which feels apparent seeing the designs for the film, which are incredibly accurate to the original toy line and animated series from the 1980s. Much like what Knight did in Bumblebee with the Transformers. Production artwork of characters like the Sorceress, Marina Baccarin, Evil-Lyn, Alison Brie, they looked right out of the source material and were instantly recognizable. So there we have it, some positive news regarding character design. And that was the main thing I was worried about when I did my first two videos. How accurately will the characters that we loved growing up as kids be portrayed now in the world we live in today? Let's get back into the article. Some of the characters actually shown on set in the midst of production included Trapjaw, Sam C. Wilson, and Triclops, Kojo Ata, and it was amazing how much they truly look like the original toys in a slightly more modernized form, with someone like Trapjaw still retaining all of his recognizable elements, including his gun arm, blue body, and green face, and of course, a Trapjaw. It appears Knight has managed the delicate balancing act of keeping these bigger-than-life characters looking wild and cool without feeling too goofy in live-action form. Brief on-set footage of Jared Leto as Skeletor kept him in the shadows, but production art and glimpses of makeup being applied indicate he will also be sporting the character's blue skin from the toy line. Unlike the version in the 1987 Masters of the Universe movie, this is freaking huge. All I talked about was how this character needed to be CGI, and it thinks it looked like they're going to go that route. They did say makeup. Not sure for how they could take that. I am praying they get Jared Leto right as Skeletor, because no matter what the storyline is at that point, if they get the characters right, we have a massive bonus right there. Galitzine looked appropriately buff and blonde to play He-Man, having gained a lot of muscle mass from how he looked in movies like Red, White, and Royal Blue and Bottoms. And we saw glimpses of the weight and fight training he's gone through for the film, and got a look at He-Man's iconic power sword looking appropriately intimidating. We also saw Mendes getting in some stunt work, including running along a wall with the aid of a harness. I am going to stop right here and show you guys a picture of Camila Mendes with the red hair. Of course, she is playing Teela. This looks spot on to me. The only thing that felt odd, given He-Man's typical fictional background, were moments on set showing Adam, He-Man's alter ego, and what looked like an American suburban bedroom. The 1987 film notably saved money by having most of the story involve He-Man transported to Earth, but it feels very unlikely that will occur again here, as we saw huge sets had been built for Eternia in the footage. But is there some sort of setup with Adam mistakenly believing he's an Earthling initially for some reason? That might explain the role Agatha All Along Sashir Zamata is playing, a character with a very normal sounding name, Susie, who has been described as Adam's best friend. Time will tell, with Masters of the Universe set to open June 5th, 2026. So we talked about this, of course, in my last couple of videos, how the synopsis that we got was that Adam is going to be stranded on Earth as a 10-year-old child. We don't know how he's going to get to Earth. I'm assuming we're going to get some sort of backstory there, but eventually he's going to be whisked off to Eternia and then go up against, of course, Skeletor and all his henchmen, some of the most iconic and favorite villains growing up as a kid. And of course, if you grew up in the 1980s, yeah, hell, even the early 1990s, you know about He-Man lore, you know about some of these characters. If you collected the toy line like I did, and I've collected all the toy lines from the 1980s, the 2000X, of course, to the new Origins line, New Eternia, all that fun stuff that is now going on. But I think for the most part, everybody that I talk to, it seems like the reason they're starting off on Earth is, one, to give He-Man a backstory, and number two, to save money, right? It seems like these sets, the CGI that's going to be going into this film is going to be a lot of money. And from what I've heard from other people talking about it, this may be setting up a franchise for Amazon and MGM. I can at least only hope that is the case. Hopefully this movie does well, and all the vintage 1980s and 90s kids go see this film, because it's starting to look like the director knows what he's doing. Maybe he's had a couple of things, ideas that weren't true to the character that have to fit into this film. But if they get the characters right, that is the main thing. If they look like the characters, we are going to be in for a real treat with this film. I can imagine that the story is going to be right where it needs to be. And hopefully maybe we get a second one. We get to see Hordak, She-Ra, all that fun stuff. But I am super pumped for this movie, and I cannot wait for a trailer. But it seems like that's really far off, considering this movie's not coming out to next summer. So June 2026 is a long way away. We'll probably get a trailer sometime in December of this year. So here's to hoping. Any new set leaks, any new photos, we're going to cover it here on the channel. So make sure you guys are subbed up. Hit that like button for me. And again, by the power of Grayskull, He-Man and the Masters Universe is coming.